our skin cells begin to take 10, 12, 14 weeks to turn over. And this causes our old, dead epidermal cells to clump on the surface of our skin. And this causes a rough texture, fine lines, and an uneven complexion. And this is a major reason why our skin gets less vibrant, drier, and more wrinkled as we get older. So how can you get your skin to turn over more quickly? Well, there's one cream, the best anti-aging cream available today, that can rev up this process, turn back the years, and even reverse early pre-skin cancers. And I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet. You're going to have to wait a little longer for that. But one easy way to get our skin to rev up and turn over more quickly is by actively exfoliating it. Now, exfoliation causes the upper layer of skin cells to slough off more quickly. And this process actually sends a cellular signal to the basal layer skin cells to kickstart and speed up that process. I mean, it's a self-propagating phenomenon. As we exfoliate, it causes our skin cells to exfoliate even more, getting us closer and closer to that every 6 to 8 week cellular turnover that we ideally want. So how can you exfoliate your skin? Well, you can do it either by mechanical exfoliation or by chemical exfoliation. Now, mechanical exfoliation occurs when the upper layer of dead skin cells are physically rubbed off. And one easy way to do this is to buy a serum or a scrub at your local drugstore that actually is kind of gritty, and you apply it to your skin and you can physically rub that skin off. But if you don't want to do that, and if you want to save some money, there are some other alternatives for you. I have a at-home exfoliating polish that you can make yourself, costs pennies, and is all natural. And this is a do-it-yourself baking soda exfoliating polish. You combine some honey with some gently warmed milk and some baking soda. You combine it all into a little bowl, and then you mix it together. And after mixing it together, you want to rinse your face off with some warm water, apply the do-it-yourself baking soda exfoliating polish onto a washcloth, and then gently rub your skin with it. Do this for about a minute or so. After that, gently wash your face with warm water, and your skin is going to feel smoother, it's going to feel cleaner and fresher after you do that. Well, what about chemical exfoliation? Well, chemical exfoliation is what happens when you use chemicals, like alpha hydroxy acids, to remove the top layers of your skin. Now, you can do this in a doctor's office by having a medical-grade alpha hydroxy acid chemical peel. You can buy an alpha hydroxy acid serum at the drugstore, or you can actually make an alpha hydroxy acid mask and pay for it with the coins that you find hidden deep in your sofa cushions. So this is how you do it. This is a do-it-yourself AHA, or alpha hydroxy acid mask. Combine some lemon juice, some orange juice, with some non-fat yogurt. Okay, make sure that it's unflavored, and mix it up. You can apply it to your face, and then let it sit there for about 20 to 30 minutes to allow it to dry. After that, rinse it off with some warm water, and your skin's going to feel smoother, it's going to feel cleaner and fresher after you do it. Now, the lemon juice and the orange juice, as well as the yogurt, all contain alpha hydroxy acids, and this mask also contains a nice dose of vitamin C. Well, unlike cleansing your skin, which you need to do really in the morning and in the evening, you only need to exfoliate your skin 2 to 3 times per week. There can be too much of a good thing. If you over-exfoliate your skin can turn red, it can get inflamed and irritated, so monitor how your skin tolerates it. And don't forget to exfoliate your body. Like the skin of our face, the skin of the rest of our body can benefit from a mechanical exfoliation. Now, when I was a kid growing up, living in my parents' house, they used to buy our shower supplies, our sponges and our washcloths at the local Korean grocery store. And these were not like the soft loofah sponges that you have at home. These sponges and washcloths were made for a major mechanical exfoliation. Well, this might work well if you're an older Korean man with thick skin, but for a young kid with baby smooth skin, this made my body one big abrasion. But the Koreans actually do have the right idea. Soft bathing sponges often don't do enough to exfoliate the skin of our body. But the good news is you don't have to go to a Korean grocery store to get your shower supplies. All you have to do actually is go to your kitchen and grab a kitchen sponge. Okay, grab one with the rough side and the soft side. You bring this into the shower, and you use that rough side for those areas that need a more aggressive exfoliation, like your elbows, your knees, or your feet. And use the soft side for those areas that are more sensitive. Just don't put it back in your kitchen and use it to wash your dishes afterwards. Okay, now let's get back to the age wreckers and why we need to avoid them. The age wrecker number 2 is bad fat, specifically saturated and trans fats. Now there's a lot in the media right now about fat and how fat isn't as bad as we thought. But there are different kinds of fats, and each of these fats have different effects on our health, and especially on our aging. Saturated and trans fats in particular are more damaging to our skin than the healthier fats, like the monounsaturated and the polyunsaturated fats. A study in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition found that people who ate a lot of butter, margarine, and foods that are high in saturated fats had more wrinkles than those who ate less. And we also know that animal proteins that are high in saturated fat can increase inflammation in our body. And this includes fatty cuts of beef and pork, dark meat poultry, and high-fat cured meat, like bacon, sausage, and bologna. High-fat cured meat contains even additional inflammation-causing substances, so try to avoid those if you can. Well, trans fat consumption puts us in another danger zone entirely. Trans fats, or trans fatty acids, are industrially modified plant oils. And these are cheap and they don't tend to spoil quickly. So they're widely used in packaged dessert and in fried foods. And you can find trans fats hiding behind the term partially hydrogenated vegetable oil on your food packaging. So remember that. Partially hydrogenated vegetable oil equals trans fats. Now, the FDA has determined that trans fats are just plain not safe. They are pro-inflammatory and they accelerate the aging process. So I do not recommend you consume any amount of trans fats at all. There is no safe minimum. So be aware of anything that comes pre-made in a package from a factory. Baked goods and snack foods are the worst. Cupcakes, cookies, and donuts often contain trans fats, in addition to too much sugar, which can also contribute to inflammation. I know you don't want to hear this. Well, fried foods like chips and crackers also contain a lot of salt, saturated fat, and can also contain trans fats as well, so try to avoid them if you can. Well, what about eating the low-fat versions of your favorite foods instead? That sounds like that would be good, right? Right? Low-fat versions? Well, no. Low-fat versions are often wolves and sheep's clothing, and they often contain an extra load of sugar to make up for the fat they don't have. Now, back in the 1990s, like many of you, I substituted low-fat peanut butter for the real thing, thinking that I was doing something healthier for myself. I mean, the label seemed to indicate that the low-fat peanut butter was healthier, so it was, right? Well, unfortunately, like millions of you, I was duped. Instead of getting more healthy peanut fat, I was getting more unhealthy sugar instead. So be very careful with the low-fat versions of your favorite foods. Well, earlier in the program, I talked about the one anti-aging cream that I'd recommend above all others. This is like the Swiss Army knife of creams. This cream can not only tighten your skin, it can reduce fine lines, and it can lighten age spots, but it can also exfoliate your skin. It can thicken the skin that has gotten thin and crepey. It can act as an anti-inflammatory. It can even reverse early pre-skin cancers. I mean, that's a lot of things that this simple cream does. So if you really want to reverse the aging of your skin, you really need to consider using a retinoid. Now, retinoids are various types of vitamin A. As you might guess, the prescription strength form of retinoids, which is tretinoin, and you may have heard this called Retin-A before, this is the most effective version of retinoid. So if you can, ask your dermatologist or your plastic surgeon if prescription strength tretinoin is right for you. And they even make a moisturizing version for those of you who have dry skin or are in very dry climates. Well, the problem with prescription strength tretinoin, and why it's not right for everybody, is that it can cause profound flaking, drying, and irritation when it's first applied. Now, these symptoms do typically resolve within about 6 to 8 weeks, but even so, some people find that they just can't tolerate it. Now, the first time that I used prescription strength tretinoin, my face looked like the inside of a pomegranate. It looked so bad. I was way too aggressive in applying it. I was so excited to use it, I applied it way too aggressively every single night, and some days more than once. Well, within a few days, my skin was bright red. It was cracking, it was flaking. Well, the reaction did subside within a few days. but most of you probably don't want to go through what I did. So for those of you who don't want to go through that, or who don't have access to a doctor to prescribe tretinoin, for those of you, we have retinol. Now, retinol is a weaker over-the-counter version of tretinoin. And studies show that although it isn't as potent as prescription-strength tretinoin, it can have very similar anti-aging effects. Now, there are many creams and serums that you can buy at the drugstore that contain retinol, and they're usually not too expensive. Some of them you can find for less than $20. So I strongly encourage each and every one of you today to make a retinol-based cream the cornerstone of your anti-aging skincare regimen. Now, let me repeat that. Make a retinol-based cream the cornerstone of your anti-aging skincare regimen. It is the best anti-aging cream that you can buy. So when should you apply it? Well, you want to begin applying a retinol cream about 2 to 3 times per week in the evening after you cleanse and exfoliate your face. As you tolerate it, increase the application, and up to even every night. But don't bother applying it in the morning because the sun will deactivate it. And you also want to avoid retinol, tretinoin, and other medically active skincare products if you are pregnant or if you're nursing. Okay, so I've revealed the #1 most important age-reversing cream available today. So now let's focus on the last of the 3 big age wreckers. And this one is salt. Now, there's a lot of confusion out there about salt, right? I mean, 1 minute it's going to cause a heart attack, and then next the studies say, maybe not so much. Well, here's the deal. Your body needs some salt, but most people eat way too much, and this can cause your body to retain water. Then you get puffy eyelids, you get bags under your eyes, you get festoons, you get swelling of your ankles, your knees, your arms, and your wrists. Well, the biggest source of salt in most people's diets is from packaged processed foods, like canned soup, believe it or not. Some cans contain up to 340 milligrams of salt per cup, but also from restaurant food, especially fast food. But you probably know that virtually all restaurants go heavy on the salt. So try to eat at home as much as possible and use just enough salt to flavor your food to make it delicious for you. So what can you use in place of salt to flavor your food? Well, there are several healthy alternatives to salt that can actually make you look younger. Many herbs, spices, and seasonings are potent antioxidants, and these can protect your skin against damage. Now, we'll talk more about antioxidants later, but suffice it to say, these herbs and seasonings not only taste good, but they pack an anti-aging punch. So try cinnamon without the sugar. If you like Indian food, try cumin or curry powder to flavor your food. If you like scrambled eggs, don't put salt on them. Try oregano and thyme. It tastes delicious on scrambled eggs. Or try rosemary, try sage, try turmeric. All of these contain potent antioxidants that not only taste good, but they can actually make you look younger. Now, pretty soon, my hope is that you'll take the salt shaker off your dining room table and you'll put it where it belongs, back in your cabinet. And try to remember this one simple rule about salting and flavoring your food. Our food is healthiest when it's like the Great Lakes, unsalted. So we talked about the 3 age wreckers: sugar, saturated and trans fats, and salt. This food axis of evil ages us the most, so avoid these as much as possible, and you are eons ahead of everybody else. But I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't mention the 2 major non-dietary age wreckers that can really affect your skin and affect your aging. And not surprisingly, these are sun damage and smoking. We all know that we need to wear sunblock during the day to protect our skin against the rays of the sun. Sun damage causes your skin to age more than any other external factor. And just compare the smooth, pale skin on your bottom to the more aged skin on your face, your chest, and your hands. I actually had a patient who came to see me once, and she said she wanted her face to look as good as her bottom. Well, she had the right idea there. But there are plenty of myths about sun exposure, and so I'm going to dispel some of these and give you some very important tips about your sunblock. Now, tip number 1 is that your car windows will block UVB rays. UVB rays cause sunburns, but your car windows will not block UVA rays, which cause premature aging, pigmentary blotches, and skin cancer. So even if you're in the car, and if you're in the car a lot, wear sunblock because you want to protect your skin. The second tip is that you want to make sure that your sunblock says broad spectrum on it. If it doesn't say broad spectrum, it is only blocking UVB rays, not UVA rays. So only buy broad spectrum sunblock. The third tip is that darker skin contains more melanin. So the more melanin can help protect you from getting burned, but it will not protect you from premature aging, from pigmentary blotches, and from skin cancer. So even if you have darker skin, sunblock is still a must. And finally, wear sunglasses. Not only do sunglasses protect your skin from the damaging rays of the sun, but they can also help prevent the need to squint. And we know what squinting causes. It causes crow's feet wrinkles. The other thing that people don't know is it can even prevent skin cancers. So wear your sunglasses whenever you can. Okay, so the second non-dietary age record is smoking. Now we all know that smoking contributes to lung disease and it contributes to heart disease. But did you actually know that smoking can actually make you look older? It's true. Smoking dehydrates your skin. It decreases circulation to your skin. It increases the risk of skin cancers, and it causes wrinkles. There was one study that showed that smokers were 4.7 times more likely to be wrinkled than non-smokers. And we've even seen this in studies of twins, one who smoked and one who didn't. After a lifetime, the smoker actually looked like the parent of the non-smoker. This is true. So what can you do to counteract the effects of all of these age wreckers? Well, in the next section, we're going to discuss the age fixers, and these are 3 types of foods that can dramatically make your skin look, feel, and be younger. And I'm going to tell you what they are coming up.
Hi, thank you so much for watching. I'm Aisha Rashid Hyman, and I am so delighted to be joined with our very special guest here in the studios at GPB, Dr. Yoon. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about, we've been getting some calls during the program, and we've been getting questions about some of these wonderful, I guess, can I say home remedies or things that we can do? The recipes at home.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw one that where we're using coffee. I see one here where we're going to use soy milk, honey, and lemon juice. There's so many in here. How did you come up with those?
Well, the great thing is that there's so many people who want to use natural products on their skin.
Yes.
They're worried about additives and preservatives. So there's that group of people who want that. And so for those people, I have included in my Age Fix book, as well as in the DVDs, information on making your own products at home. There's also those people who want to save money. And so you can take products from your refrigerator, you can do chemical peels from home, you can do scrubs, you can do so many things. You can even have a milk beautifying bath at home to help the skin of your entire body.
What I also love about the book is that you're telling us specifically what kinds of things we can do at home for specific issues that we're having, right? It's not just that kind of a general fix-all thing. It's, we can specifically say, okay, well, I've got some spots that I don't like, or I've got a condition that I'm not happy with that I can figure out at